Welcome to Emerging Civil War News. I'm Chris Mikowski, and joining me from the great state of Mississippi in Vicksburg is Bess Averett. She is the executive director of the Friends of Vicksburg National Military Park. And from our nation's great capital, Washington, D.C., Jared Herr from the American Battlefield Trust. Good afternoon to both of you today.
Hey,
Thanks for
Chris.
having us.
And I'm pleased to have you with me to tell me a little bit about the proposed project for a new visitor center at Vicksburg National Military Park. And Bess, I know the Friends are strongly involved in this project. And if you want to tell us just a little bit about what you guys are up to.
Sure. We're very excited about it. We've been working on this for a long time. Really, after I visited Gettysburg for the first time and saw their amazing partnership visitor center and thought, we need that here. And so the kind folks at Gettysburg have been really great for us about how they did their project. And we've done a lot of feasibility studies and a lot of work at what partners we needed. And fast forward to today, where we have a really great partnership agreement between the state of Mississippi, the National Park Service, and our organization. And what it entails is a new state of the art visitor center, museum, classroom space, event lawn for living history and different demonstrations, an archive and research facility. Really, just it fixes a lot of things that we need fixing. Our old visitor center is one of the last of the Mission 66 era, and it's got a lot of problems. It floods just about every time it rains, and we've got a lot of issues to correct. So we're excited about this new project, excited about the partnerships in place, and really excited to get started and sharing people how far this project has come. Kind of one side note is we were impactful, I think, with ABT's help on passing some legislation in 2019 to add units at Champion Hill, Port Gibson, and Raymond. And so for us, this center became so important because we really need a better facility to orient and educate people on the significance of the full campaign and not just the siege lines. And so this museum will give us that opportunity, and then hopefully send people out to these other areas of this, critical battle that really helped shape America.
Now, this project has obviously been in the works for a while, but perhaps under the radar screen for most folks. It's really gained a lot of attention this week because the American Battlefield Trust put out an appeal to help with an effort to change some legislation so that the state of Mississippi can move forward on this project a little more effectively. But it requires some assistance with a boundary adjustment because of the National Park Service boundary of the park. Can you give us a quick little overview of what that is and why this is important to help the state of Mississippi in its efforts to create this new visitor center?
Absolutely. So the state has been great. They've allocated a significant amount of funds to date, and kind of the property that we identified adjacent to the park, so right outside of the park borders, is where the site has been selected with really great I-20 visibility. That's where the new center will be. The state owns that property, and the private sector donor came forward and helped demolish the structures on it and start with the site prep. Our issue is there will need to be a connector road and a pedestrian bridge that connects this new center to the existing park and to what will ultimately be kind of the gateway entrance of the park. And so there's this little sliver of land that's behind the state-owned property that goes up into the tour road, and it's literally a ditch. I call it the ditch in Mississippi. But this ditch in Mississippi, although it's a tiny parcel of land, is really critical to the success of the project. So the visitor center will be constructed, but we need that connector road. We need that ease of visitor use so that you can seamlessly move between the park and the new museum and center. So this is a critical piece of legislation, and we're grateful for anyone who helps us. We've got a great Mississippi delegation that's pushing for it. American Battlefield Trust, as always, has been a huge ally and helped us anytime we need a little help on the Hill. So happy to answer any more questions
Yeah,
about
sure.
it.
And just one quick question before I transition over to Jared for a second. If I'm heading westward on the interstate and I get off that exit where I might typically go to the park as it stands now, we're talking about property that's on the right-hand side just as you get off. So super convenient location for visitors who want to be able to visit, right?
Absolutely. We vetted probably about a dozen sites in our feasibility study to look at what location would make the most sense for this new center. And at the end of the day, that was really the ideal location. We do want that close proximity to the battlefield. We do not want to construct on core battlefield land. We definitely want to be outside of that land and be adjacent. And so that's why the site was selected, and that's where the project will be.
Very good. And Jared, let me ask you, why is it the American Battlefield Trust chose to really make a very full-throated pitch in favor of this project and really try to help promote it this week?
Well, as Bess mentioned, the Vicksburg Visitor Center, as it is now, is not at does not have the ability to tell the full story of this campaign and to welcome the hundreds of thousands of visitors that will come, through that site. We as an organization are our focuses are preserving, educating, and inspiring. We understand that in order for people to come to Vicksburg to fully appreciate the battlefield, understand what happened there and its significance to our country, you know, having a landing spot like this new visitor center is a real key element of that. So we as an organization, we are based here in DC, and we do work quite regularly with lawmakers, to help, battlefields across the country be able to be preserved. And we're keenly aware that we cannot work without the help of our friends, and vice versa. And we all this is a real team effort, right? So we identify opportunities which we call speak out opportunities, and these are chances for people involved in our organization, people that know about us, to get involved, petition their lawmakers, and so when an opportunity comes up like this, where right, this is a bill that would adjust the boundary, and allow this to take place, that has to come through Congress. And so, this is a very easy way for people to contact their legislators. This isn't just a Mississippi issue, because it'll take national lawmakers to make that happen. And so they can just go to our website, and we make it really easy for them to sign a letter of support and to vocalize that.
So, and Jared, knowing the work that the trust has done out in Mississippi, hundreds of acres saved at Champion Hill, the work you guys have done with the friends at the Raymond Battlefield out there, our great friend Parker Hills, Port Gibson. So it seems that this new visitor center really does a lot to help open up some of those properties that the trust has been instrumental in preserving as well.
I mean, absolutely, Chris. I think that this visitor center really has the opportunity to not just be, a landing page for the Vicksburg campaign, but just the entire state of Mississippi and beyond, right? And to explore all of the battlefields, as you mentioned. And I think when one park benefits, they all sort of benefit, because if somebody comes to Vicksburg and they develop a deep appreciation of history. My appreciation of history comes from those museums and visitor centers, right? Filling out junior ranger program forms and that kind of thing, right? So as you mentioned, this is a great opportunity for all parks to benefit.
And Bess, let me ask you real quick before we head into the final stretch here. Obviously, historical tourism really important as an economic driver. You guys see this as a real important component to helping increase the visibility of the park and making the gem that is Vicksburg National Military Park even more prominent. How important is this going to be for you as someone who lives in Vicksburg as an economic tourism driver?
Oh, absolutely. So the Vicksburg National Military Park is already the most visited cultural attraction in the state of Mississippi. So we do feel like tourists are coming. A lot of times, unfortunately, tourists get off the interstate, drive through the park for 2 hours, and get back on the interstate. And what we have been working with partners like ABT for years is to really try to grow that larger story of the Vicksburg campaign, and to really have visitors have the information to stay longer and visit all these really amazing sites that are pretty untouched and very much like they were in 1863. And so for us, this center allows us a place to orient visitors, to really give them the full story of the campaign, and then to send them out into these other areas. And so it really is not a Vicksburg project or really even a Mississippi project. It really is a regional project for the entire campaign that took place in this area. So we're really excited about that.
Fantastic. Before I let you both go, Jared, anything I haven't asked you that you'd want to mention real quick?
I think that I would direct people to our website. It may be possible, wherever this is getting shared, to put a link, but it's just battlefields.org/preserve/speak-out. And that'll get people to all of our speak out opportunities. And of course, the Vicksburg opportunity is right there at the top of the list.
Very good. Bess, anything you'd like to add?
No, also, I just want to share my website. So we'd love for anyone that wants to follow the updates on this project, go to our website, www friendsofvicksburg.org. You can join our email list and get our e-news updates. And we're excited to keep people interested and updated as this project moves forward. And really appreciate your time, Chris and Jared, and anyone that can help us kind of work toward this really amazing goal for the site.
Well, thank you both for spending some time explaining this great project. Sounds like a wonderful opportunity. I'm going to switch hats for a second. I'll put on my ABT hat and just mention that for the 155th and the 160th anniversaries, I had the chance to go out and make some videos on a video swing out there in the Mississippi campaign. Chris White was out there with me. Great guys like Parker Hills, Tim Smith. So you can check all that content out at the Battlefield Trust YouTube page. Fantastic way for you to explore some of that terrain that we're talking about, that this new visitor center will help open up for folks. So on behalf of Bess and Jared, I'm Chris Mikowski. Thanks for being with us here at Emerging Civil War. We'll see you online and on the battlefields.